New global threat. Yep, perfect. Today we're going to be showing you my favorite starter base. I have designed this one. I'm not saying I'm the first to make it, but what I am saying is I have designed it. You're going to start with a basic 2x1. Now, there is an alternative if you want to. If you don't have ladder hatches, you can use this other method, but for now, we're going to be showing you the one with ladder hatches. If you don't have them researched on that wipe, which this is a starter base, let's say, so I wouldn't say much of a starter base. So start with this, which this is the starter base, and then ladder hatches whenever you want to upgrade it. So it's such a good starter base that then you can upgrade it. It's not the best starter base out there, but it's kind of cheap. Oh, wait, never mind. I've just got to remove all this. So this is the starter base. First of all, you're going to start with one half wall and one floor triangle right there. Then you're going to grab your TC and place it right there. Upkeep, very cheap. It's about 500 wood per 24 hours. 500 stone per 24 hours. Decent with sheet metal door. You can also start with a wooden door as well. Now, this is all you need as a starter base. Whenever you want to, you can upgrade this to stone later, but for now, this is all you need. You can also place a small box right here. Perfect starter base. And later, you can add another floor triangle, another half wall, and upgrade all of this to stone. And that is a little bit more expensive. I'm going to rotate that, so then you can't get to TC as easily. Now, after a little while, you can also add these, after you have the resources, and add some double doors. Double doors are really nice. Sheet metal ones are the best, because they cannot be raided with fire. So, it's pretty nice. Right here is where you're going to be putting your furnace. You can put one furnace here. Perfect. Easy placement. And then you can also put a workbench here, or workbench level 2. Let's just start with a workbench level 2, even though you won't usually start with one of these. Now, I like to craft a bag and place it right there. And then after you have a workbench level 1, obviously it goes right here afterwards. So you can have a level 1 and level 2. Because usually you get a level 2 before you unlock all this. Well, all this stuff is unlocked for this build server, but there's also a new workbench tax thing, which I'm not really liking as much. Level 1 does not have tax, but so yeah, it's pretty nice. Furnace right here, bag right there. More storage here. You can place storage on top of that triangle. It's nice. It's got some size, and in here you can also place more boxes here, here, and everywhere. It's got a decent amount of storage. And whenever you have the resources, you should start building out. Now, don't build an airlock, just build in and make this sheet metal. Yeah, unless you have ladder hatches. I'm not saying you can't build an airlock. I'm just saying if this is the base design you want to stick with, you cannot build an airlock until you have ladder hatches researched. Now, go ahead and add a wooden door on the outside, which I always do wooden on the outside so I don't look as rich. Until your base is really big, you want to put a wooden door on the outside so people don't think that you're rich. Place the ladder hatch right there. Perfect. Now we're going to be placing all of this right here, upgrading all of it to stone, and one more floor frame right here, a wall frame, sorry about that, wall frame here, and double door right here. Now, perfect. You're going to be adding windows here. So yeah, now you're going to be grabbing these sheet metal things. They're window bars, metal window bars. You can also do wooden as a start. It's not nearly as secure, but it'll work. Perfect. Now you have a shooting floor, which, if you take a gun, like, let's just take a semi. Let's just take a SAR. You can shoot from here. Now, this is the final floor. It's not really a floor, but more of a roof. You're going to be adding one floor here, which you might not think it's that overpowered, but it is. Because it gives you a lot more space up here. And can also seal off all these corners. And that one floor right there is decently strong, but it still can break. So you should also place a camera. On the server you can fly with no clip by clicking F on your keyboard when you're holding a hammer. So if you place a PTZ camera right there, it's perfect. You can see door campers and everything out of the front of your base. So far, this is what it looks like. And that's pretty much it for the starter base. And up there, you can see the total cost. It's kind of cheap to finish this entire base. But the first start, like down there, this thing, is very cheap as well. It only takes 3,000 metal. It does take 550 scrap, but that's only for the workbenches. You don't need it. But everything is pretty good. Also, you do need to research some of the stuff, like the ladder hatches. That's the only thing you need to research on this, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Only thing you need to research is ladder hatches and ladders, and, well, these things you also need to research, but you can also start with the wooden ones. Which, I guess I'll show you the wooden ones. Pick them all up. I don't understand why I can't remove them, but it's alright. You can just throw them out of the window. The only reason why you want window bars is so people cannot jump in your window. Because if you don't have window bars, they're just going to be able to jump right into your window. Just like that. So you need them, even if they're not that good, you can still get them. And the wooden window bars are a lot cheaper. And I'm pretty sure they're starting blueprints, so you don't need to research them. So this is a pretty nice starter base, and it also looks pretty nice. You can always upgrade these to sheet metal way later on. Which I'm actually just going to undo that. So it's a pretty nice starter base. I would definitely recommend building this. I did design this one, except I'm not going to say I'm the first one to build it, because it is pretty simple. But it's the base I usually use. And honeycombing is kind of simple. All you have to do is this. Just remove that one. And you can honeycomb pretty easily on this one. What I usually like to do is put twig in the middle here if you're running low on resources. But if you're not running low on resources, you should always put stone or wood in there. I usually put wood in there. And I usually rotate it, but it's alright for now. And also, make sure, there's one important thing. You have to make sure, so if you upgrade these to stone, you see this? This wall is hard side, and this one's soft side. So this can be rated a lot easier because it should be on the inside. So if you need to do that, you have 10 minutes to rotate it, which you can do right after you build it. But you have to make sure that it's like that. And also, pancaking is not necessary because, I mean, this entire thing is pretty much pancaking, like the shooting floor and everything. But it works. And it's a pretty good base, kind of cheap. It takes about 11,000 stone to finish the entire base without honeycombing, and then you can also add honeycombing. So airlock honeycombing is not going to be a thing that you need to do until you upgrade this door or add another airlock on the outside. But no one's really going to raid your airlock because here. So you always want to start your honeycomb here. So you can leave that one empty. You do not need to honeycomb this because it's way more expensive for them to raid this than it is to raid this. So they're not going to do it. When I say them, I mean your enemies or whoever's raiding you. So it's perfect. We've got everything we need pretty much. Also, twig is not really necessary in there, but I just like to do it. And right here is TC. Right behind this wall is TC, so you gotta make sure you honeycomb this. Alright, there we go. Honeycombing is complete. And the entire base takes about 16,000 wood. 3,500 wood, about 16,500 stone, about 3,000 metal frags, and 20 high quality metal, 2 ladders, 30 cloth, 50 low grade, 550 scrap. That's just for the workbenches. You don't need scrap to build the base. 6 gears and nothing else. So to build the base, it's pretty simple, and the scrap isn't as necessary, and also, yeah, some of the stuff isn't necessary, but it is for, you kind of need a workbench to craft stuff, so it is kind of necessary to get a workbench down, but this is the starter base, and it's pretty nice, I'd say. I'm not taking all credit for building this, even though I did come up with the design. I'm not saying I'm the first to make it. I haven't seen anyone make a base like this ever, but I don't watch a lot of people make bases. So it's a pretty nice base, and it does make you look very rich, though. This shooting floor is pretty nice. You can just take a SAR with a hollow sight or something. You can always take an 8x as well. I guess we'll take 16x. You can only get that from locked crates and military crates. I don't know where you can get them, but you cannot craft them. I think only military crates, but... So the only thing is recoil is a lot more when you're not crouching. Like, look at this. Without crouching. With. So, I just removed my door. It's alright, I can just add it back. So yeah, that's why we have this thing up here, which you can crouch and still aim. It has some, like, lag, so, like, it sounds like I'm shooting faster than I am. Like, listen. I'm only shooting 1 bullet, as you can see, but it sounds like I'm shooting 2. It's just something weird on the server. But yeah, it's a pretty good base. I would definitely recommend building this as a start. And the thing I like about it is that you can start with a basic 2x2 and then just upgrade it to something that looks like this. Be aware, though, you might feel safe in those windows or on the roof, but people can very easily just snipe in there when you don't have the vertical embrasures. So you should probably get those as soon as possible, but they're not mandatory. It's nice. You can hear it a lot better with a revolver, like a Python. What about an MP5, maybe? Well, I'm just messing around now. And thanks for watching if you actually made it to the end. Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty nice base design. I know I've said that already, but if you want to build a nice base, I'd say this is what you should do. It's not that hard to raid. Like, just take some C4 and... Well, obviously you can't C4 that. All it takes is a little bit to raid, though. Let's see how much it takes to raid to TC. I'm not the best raider, but... One of those. Oh, I guess I need another one. It's a single door. Perfect. We're going to be testing with explosive ammo. Alright, perfect. I usually would take satchels, so we're going to grab a few of these. You take like 2 satchels to the door and just spray with Explo. I would have just died right there. So you have to stay away when you're actually raiding. But perfect. We've made it into here. It's not very expensive to raid without an extra airlock on the outside, so. Usually you'd have another gun. And you'd watch the door, because people will come watch the raid. And you're in TC and raided. So it is very, very cheap to raid. I just accidentally removed that foundation. But, and then the main loot room you can just easily get into with just a few satchels. But it's probably more worth it to raid these doors. So. We're in. So it's pretty cheap to raid without extra airlocks, but it's still a good base. And the satisfying part. And boom. Base is gone. So it's the starter I usually use, but as I just showed, it is kind of cheap to raid. It's not nearly as cheap as just a basic. If you don't know, this is the basic base most people start with. Not nearly as cheap as one of these. Just for reference, I'll show you how expensive it is to make one of these versus what I just did. The total end of that one was about 11,000, and for this one it's 3,000. 3,000 stone. So, it's not that overpowered. But literally 3 explosive amp. Oh wait, I used remove. Let's see how much. All you need to do is grab one flamethrower though, like a military flamethrower. And that's it. So it's kind of cheap to raid this one as well. A lot cheaper to raid one of these 2x1s than it is to raid anything else. The new military flamethrower is also very overpowered. Not nearly as good as a Molotov, but so that's gonna wrap up today's video. Oh my goodness, it's 19 minutes long. Okay, that's gonna wrap up today's video. New video will be out on Saturday. I think for that one I might as well do maybe a Rust 1 million times or something, just for fun. Only if this video does well. If it doesn't, I might do a different game, like Minecraft, which you guys have shown me that you definitely like Minecraft. But that's gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.